Hello, thank you for joining our Conversations of Change series session today, Mr. Ramesh Swamy. Just to introduce you for our larger audience, Mr. Ramesh Swamy, as the lead trustee of Unnati Foundation, is at the forefront of guiding the organization's efforts in providing vocational training and social transformation programs aimed at building and boosting the values, concepts, language proficiency, and life skills of students. His hands on approach in day to day operations is marked by an inspiring attitude and boundless energy, leaving a positive impact on the lives of many individuals in and around Bangalore. Beyond his commitment to the Unnati Foundation, Ramesh Swamy serves as the CEO of the Swamy Group of Companies. His journey began with joining his father's business right after completing his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from MACT Regional Engineering College. In this capacity, he oversees logistic operations for numerous MNCs and Indian companies in the state of Karnataka. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, I would like to jump in and ask, first of all, congratulations on Unnati Foundation being the first NGO to be listed on NSE and BSE's Social Stock Exchange. How do you envision this shaping the trajectory of your existing initiatives? And could you also share your insights into the way forward for Unnati Foundation, detailing any new strategies or initiatives that this listing might enable in advancing your mission of social transformation?
So let's understand when the SSC was announced, it gave us a message that the sector is undergoing or going to undergo a huge change, right? You are looking at an SSC which is talking about three verticals which are very important. One is transparency, one is documentation, and one is social impact. It's a combination of three verticals. Over the years, an NGO, if you see, you will find that many of them are probably good in transparency or documentation. There could be very many. But when it comes to social impact, there is a gap. They are not ready. They don't know how to measure. And you will come across a lot of senior people, founders saying that, the social impact measurement is very difficult. It takes time. All when this came up, Unnati has from day one, irrespective of how small, we are a very small organization compared to many others, right? But our fundamentals were in place. So we had all these three verticals in place always. When I told about transparency, documentation, and the social impact. The day one when we started Unnati, we had told that every youth we train must get a job. We have a track record of 100% placement in our center model. So that is how we have developed the entire program and gone ahead. So it was quite easy for us to say, okay, let's get into the SSC. Let's what we are doing, we just have to showcase it. So that was the idea when we immediately jumped into the idea, into the whole foray and got ourselves registered first, right? So the idea of registration was just to announce that we are an organization who has got all these three verticals in place, right? So it was as simple as that. But during the course of discourse of various meetings of various organizations talking about SSC, the importance of SSC, there was a mention of people saying we would love to contribute for the first few listings, right? So we said we have no idea of listing. So we said, okay, fine, here are some donors who are ready to give. And they are outside our network, right? It is outside our network. Our network of people have been giving, and this is a new set of people who are ready to give. So it excited us, and we said, let's try listing. The amount of trouble we have gone through in listing is quite a lot. If I had today, after knowing it, I might have said, oh, no, I wouldn't want to go through this hassle. But what drove us to go through this was the fact that somewhere we felt that we could be creating history in the country. Right? And God's grace, lucky, we really are the first NGO in the country. So we have created history in a way. Whether so that way we are very happy. How this is going to impact in the future is profound. Believe me, a small NGO which has been there suddenly is recognized by the entire country. It's not small. It's not ordinary. You know, they are looking at us. They are understanding what work we are doing. Why we were successful in SSC. Why we could go for listing. So these are all aspects which have come up in the discourse, right? Which is adding huge amount of credibility into the organization. Believe me, if I have to create this euphoria about Unnati, I don't know how many more decades I would have had to do work, right? But like this, it has happened, and 2 months or 2.5 months of very intense hard work has delivered probably results which would have taken a decade for that kind of recognition to come in the country. So I'm extremely happy and looking forward to a very big jump in the whole approach, the way it will go forward in the days to come. This is what I look forward to.
No, I mean, thank you so much. As you rightly said, Unnati Foundation has actually created history. And thank you so much for sharing this inspiring piece. And, it also shows how this listing is not just a recognition, but a catalyst for transformative growth. And the potential of scaling existing initiatives and launching new ones is always very promising. And also, with that, in light of these listings, could you also elaborate on how this milestone has the potential to benefit the social sector in India as a whole? And what positive changes or opportunities do you foresee for NGOs and social enterprises as a result of these listings?
So the opportunities are uh, going to be unfolding on a daily basis. Let's understand that, right? The fact that you have started measuring social impact of an organization, right? You are talking of uh, the entire country. There is one exchange, the social stock exchange, where the the regulatory body is the government of India. Right? You have a SEBI, you have the exchanges. They are regulating two things in a big way in your annual impact. One is your documentation in terms of finances, how it has been, how you have managed it, who is behind it. The second is the social impact. Right? Now, not often you have got a combination of this happening till now, till recently. Right? Yes, the CSR was the first entry into this aspect. When CSR became popular from 2014, initially they didn't jump into such rigor. They said you have to measure impact, you have to declare impact, and still people were finding their feet and saying that this is what we have done, this is what it is. But with the social stock exchange happening, it is instant. I have to produce the social impact report next April, May, June. It has to be there for the entire year's work, right? So it is not ordinary, right? It is so you cannot accept money today unless you are ready to give that. So you have to become very good to even to apply. That has changed. Now, that has changed the mindset of the NGOs, right? Everybody has started thinking that I have to define it, I have to measure it quantitatively, qualitatively, apart from documentation. So all this has started working in the NGO side. So it is like saying that I will become better first, then talk about it, right? So I have to become better. That's a very important change, shift. It is not you judging me. I have to be good, then only I can apply. So that shift has happened, which is very important. Second thing, how I see in the years to come or every day unfolding will be that people will, the government will start looking at it, saying that there is a measurable impact happening. I want every money to move to measurable impact levels. So I will try and push more and more NGOs into the stock exchange, more and more donors into the stock exchange. So I am able to measure the money which comes in and the impact it has created. Every rupee, what is the impact it has created for the country. So it can become a very, very big tool in the years to come. Right? How fast it happens, I I don't know. If somebody is very keen, they could take up steps in few months and make a difference, right? Somebody could say, okay, we'll wait and see how it takes. So it is evolving on a daily basis. 3 days back, they brought it down from 1 crore to 50 lakhs. They brought down the donations to 10,000 rupees from 2 lakhs, right? So there are small changes which have happened. This change is going to be on a daily basis. It's like GST came in, and even today we have a GST council working and saying this is there, that is there, that has to be changed. So it will mature in the next few years. But we are in the right direction, and I believe that this is a game changer for the country going forward.
No, I completely agree with you, and I think this sort of ripple effect is very immense for the entire sector as well. And having this increased visibility and interest can definitely reshape the landscape. And as you said, there's a shift in the perspective and thinking also. This is hugely transformative for all of us. And also with that, I would like to ask you one more thing. So in the realm of impact investing, how do you envision this milestone influencing the landscape of impact investing for NGOs and social enterprises? And what role do you see the impact investors play in driving the societal change through social stock exchange?
So it's very important, and it's going to be very powerful going forward. For example, let's take today. There are a group of people like uh, Dasra, Satwa, so many of them, all of these people, right? Even including KPMG, Deloitte, many of them are in that. They are facilitators for the CSR funding, who actually look at various things and manage it. So they are doing that kind of a job already, right? Now just imagine if the NGO is able to deliver documentation and social impact better, and there are people like a third person who comes and says, I will bet my money on this NGO. I will take up this project, get it delivered through this NGO, and then go and ask for CSR funding or government funding for that project. The difference is, today, for example, if there's a road to be made, just giving you an example. They say we have a budget of 400 crores. Let's see, today it was in the paper, it just came to my mind, right, in Bangalore. So suppose an impact person comes, impact agency comes and says, I will do this job. You don't pay me 1 rupee. I will get this done. At the end of it, after satisfying, you give it to me. These will be the terms reference, right? Now, what happens is the government money becomes extremely accountable, right? It could happen that. So, an education system, a cleaning of a lake system. So, everywhere, and that company who's putting that money could be a company which will earn 7-8% of the revenue, keep the revenue for him. It is business also, but it is also about creating impact. So as a country, we could benefit immensely through this process. It could be a very, very powerful tool in the future. So it could be impact investing, those kind of things could happen. So I don't know, a CSR organization could take up such a thing and say that I will create this difference. You give me as a PPP model. Tomorrow the CSR says, I will get this done. You to the government and say, you give me 50% of it. So you have a implementation partner, you have a funding partner, you have the government who will reimburse the money. You could, and the accountability is very, very high. Things like that could happen.
No, right, very rightly said, and also thank you for sharing these examples. I think you very rightly mentioned all of this, and also with that, I also wanted to talk to you about the UNXT program. So, which is specifically designed to support final year students in government colleges, and also it stands out in your mission. So, could you share the genesis of this program, shedding light on the inspiration or needs that prompted its creation?
Yeah. So, Purnima, this is a very important question. I'll take a few minutes more. See, some years back, I met a nodal placement officer of the government. Okay? And they don't generally disclose the truth, but the person was nice and said, we are struggling. Our youth from B towns, C towns, and our government colleges, we are not able to give them jobs. Our placement percentage is less than 10%. Many of us know, but it started ringing a bell. I said, can we do something to that? That was the first question which came. Then when I started thinking deeply, let me share, it's a fiction, but let me share with you, right? Let's say my son and a farmer's son are sitting on the same table in the same college and learning. My son is not good in education. He's not good in studies, right? So this farmer's son teaches him accounts or bookkeeping or some subject or engineering subject, something, and they are both pass. My son gets some 60 marks or 65 marks. Farmer's son gets 85 marks in his exams. Right? And both of them go to a very big company for interview. The farmer's son is not articulate. He does not know English. He's not able to express himself better. He and my son both attend the same interview. Who do you think gets selected in this big company? It is my son who gets the selection because of his social skills, communication, every aspect. Right? What does the farmer's son sitting there think about it? Now he says, this guy was useless. I used to teach him and he passed. Today he got that job. He doesn't deserve it. I deserve it. What? His father is influential, so he got the job. The society didn't take care of me. They didn't get me a job. And my father is telling me I am the most intelligent person. My village, nobody has done it. I have achieved. And I have rank holder, whatever. The government has not taken care of it. This is the kind of anger he has. He can justify any wrong which he does tomorrow, saying that you didn't take care of me, I did this. It's a very, very dangerous situation for all of us in the society. An intelligent boy not getting a job because of lack of expression and social circumstances is being unfair to him. So we took up this challenge and started units just to put him on the same platform as like anybody else by improving his communication, expression, values, thought process, confidence, interview skills, life skills. All this we give to this youth in the government college and make him employable. In the entry level, nobody, if you go and ask an HR, what will you look for an entry level job? Domain skills will never appear. As it is, our system is such that domain skills don't matter. Right? So what will appear is only communication, English, lifelong learning attitude, confidence. This is what we built in these youth. And that is why we started units and we went to the government colleges where the need is is immense, right? What to say? The need is there for everyone in that college, and we have started seeing phenomenal results because of that. And we are scaling today. We are in 10 states. We have signed MOUs, and this year alone, we are looking at a lakh of youth across the country. God willing, we should touch that number.
No, I'm really glad you actually mentioned this example. The emotions that you talked about, I mean, very rightly said. Also, I think talking about soft skills, that's not something a lot of people focus on. So building that is truly inspiring. And also with that, what are the overarching goals and aspirations the program aims to achieve in the near future, and both for participating students and the broader community it serves? Is also something I'd really like to know.
So, what we have done is UNext has been continuously growing in various ways. For example, our LMS has got 600 videos, 120 questions a day to equip them better. The intensity. We have just launched a app called Udyogam, where all these youth will sit on it, all the details. And this app, why is it special? One, it is for freshers. Two, it is authenticated by Unnati. These details are available. Three, you put a PIN code and you will get the local area youth. So the migration can reduce, and it's totally authenticated. We have trained them. It's a trained youth you are getting. So we are hoping that this will facilitate the placement percentage immensely. Right? That's the whole purpose behind it. And so yeah, what was the other question you said? What is the benefit of the to the youth? Right? That's what you asked me. So
For
this
the students and
so this is
community.
going to be that, and the change is going to happen that way for them. So the placements will improve immensely in the B towns, C towns. They are equipped, they are more confident. They don't have to migrate necessarily. Local industry bodies will start getting talent locally. All these are going to be a big advantage.
No, like so glad to hear this, and it really looks like a real powerful initiative. Empowering students for meaningful contributions is very commendable. I mean, we're all looking forward to seeing its continued impact.
Yeah.
Um, with that, Mr. Ramesh, drawing on your corporate background, what valuable insights do you believe the social sector can borrow from the corporate world to enhance its effectiveness in the delivery of impact? And additionally, how can the social sector landscape strategically engage with corporate partners to drive impactful CSR initiatives?
So one word, one word is enough. It is empathy, right? Uh, it is unfortunate, but the NGOs work from a platform of sympathy than empathy, right? Uh, that is what drives that founder to do something. He feels very sympathetic and he wants to do good, right? What he thinks is good, unfortunately, does not qualify under empathy. It falls under sympathy many times. The moment you fall on sympathy, you're not going to be able to change and create impact. You have to cross that. You started with sympathy, but cross into empathy. I'll give you a small example. A student comes to my center. My center starts at 8:30. He comes to my center at 8:40. He tells my staff, sir, I am from a very poor family. I have to put paper in the morning, go back, cook food, or my father is there, is not well. Some genuine, extremely genuine reason, right? And says water comes late. So every day, sir, I can come only at 8:40 and not at 8:30. Please, sir, allow me. What do you think an NGO will do? An NGO will say, very poor, I have to help him. Let him come at 8:40. I will not agree to that. I will say it is not acceptable because I am building him for the future. Tomorrow, if he goes to a company and says, I cannot come at 8:30, I will come at 8:40, is the company going to allow? So what do? I have to build that whole planning into his life. So I back work. I don't say no to him. I back work with him, and make sure he comes at 8:30. That is empowerment. So I work from a platform of empathy and not sympathy. Unfortunately, you will find the platform of sympathy from which many NGOs work. Right? So I think the corporates will be very happy when an organization talks from a platform of empathy, from a platform of love, care, and concern, okay, and says, this is what we will deliver, this is the kind of social impact we will create through the program. And we will not be sympathetic and adjust. Because you adjust, this is what is going to happen. Right? The youth thinks he's entitled, and he will start expecting adjustments everywhere, which doesn't happen. So I think this is the message I would give.
No, thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, empathy as a value, and also sort of building that discipline, is always, I mean, beneficial for future. Thank you for mentioning that, and it's a great piece of advice as well. Lastly, Mr. Ramesh, as a leader in the social impact sector, and while we are concluding this session, what wisdom or lessons from Unnati Foundation's journey would you offer to your peer and colleagues in the impact sector?
I am no leader, I am ordinary worker. Okay, so I would only say that um, you know uh, it's always a seesaw journey. You will feel depressed. You will face situations. It will pull you down. Your energies will come down. So you have to find the answer within yourself. Why will you get up early morning to thinking with that energy, right? Because each day is going to be challenging, each day is going to give you a different result, and you have to accept everything openly, right? So it is very important that you keep your energies high, ensure that your focus is on those fundamentals of transparency, documentation, impact, you know, and you don't start adjusting. So very often you will find somebody saying, I will give you this money, can you do this for me? You're tempted to do it. Then you're moving away from your core. It may not be your core activity. So your delivery will be affected. Then you don't know where your feet is, right? So focus with conviction in what you're doing and build on that conviction continuously. Someday you will, people will respect that conviction of yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Ramesh, for sharing that wisdom. I think what I took at as takeaways is, of course, having values like empathy, having that conviction, also staying mission driven, adaptable, and building collaborations. I think these are some of the timeless principles and values. Your journey is truly inspiring for many in the sector. Thank you so much. Thank you once again for being a part of this session.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.